Why hello my little peachies, welcome back to a new video. I was on Twitter and I was getting some interactions from beautiful, incredible, amazing Deli Grissy, who I've not seen in far too long because she does live at the other side of the world. And I was like, it's not enough just to speak with her on Twitter, I want to see her beautiful face. So I went to her YouTube channel and lo and behold, she had literally just uploaded the video that you guys keep asking me to do and I keep putting off because let's face it, when it comes to the packs, I'm kind of a massive Sims noob. I'm not even gonna pretend I'm not. I am a massive Sims noob when it comes to the content of the packs. But you guys have been asking me for a while now to rank all of the packs in Sims 4, of which there are now quite a lot. Honestly, genuinely quite a lot. So we're going to be attempting that today. So I thank you to Deli for reminding me that this challenge existed. I actually went to her description and she is also linked to Lil Simsy and also Vixella, who have both also done this. I'm sure a bunch of other people have done this, but I kind of like the inception feeling of it all because like, who was the first? Like, was it one of these guys? In which case they're layer 2, the other is layer 3. And then like Deli Grissy, is she like Mal's mind prison? Is she the beach? Or in Japan with the guy in the house? Like, where am I? What level of inception am I? I don't know, but either way the walls are bending and I'm excited. So thank you Deli for reminding me that I gotta do this challenge, and thank you so much to Little Simsy and Vixella for doing it before us. I actually went on to the wonderful Little Simsy's video and she has linked this make your ranking link, so I'll be linking that in the description below as well. Okay, now what's kind of fun about these lists is everyone is gonna rank games differently because everybody's gonna have different priorities when they play this game. So I know that Deli really likes gameplay, Little Simsy really likes building. I really like simping for hot Sims. No, I like stories. I seem to really like stories and I like decorating my Sims like they are dolls in the dollhouse that I had when I was a child. So I'm gonna be kind of ranking them based on that. But the other thing is, and I booted my game to help me with this because honest to God, I had Sims 4 when it first came out. I didn't like it, never played it again. Well, lie. But I didn't play it for a long time. Went back to it and realized that like I kind of bought a bunch of packs in one go. So as a result, a lot of like the first half of the packs are very much like a blur in my mind. I don't really know where one ends and one starts and what new features they brought. So I've got the Sims up so we can kind of remind ourselves on what all the packs bring and what makes them special, what makes them not special. Wait, they're all special. Apart from my first pet stuff, I'm looking at you. So let's go ahead and get into it. Don't forget, you can also check the link in the description for your Feeling Peachy merch as well. Feeling Peachy cushion as well if you want to stay extra cozy like I'm doing today. Also say hi to Bean. Hi Bean. Okay, so these are ranked in terms of need it, love it, good, okay, meh, and can live without. Okay, so first up is base game. Pretty obviously you need that or else none of the other packs are gonna run. So even though you were kind of trash when you first came out, you've improved and we like you now. And the next up, we've got Get to Work. So fun story. I genuinely thought that San Myshuno came with Get to Work. This is what I mean about packs blurring into one. I thought Get to Work and City Living were the same pack. I thought they all came together. I thought it gave you a bunch of jobs and it gave you the city and that all was in one. I'm actually low-key, and this is so noob. This is why I said I was a Sims noob. I didn't realize these two were different packs. My mind is kind of blown. So you didn't get a single world with Get to Work. See, I really like the career stuff. Like recently I did the scientist career for my Not So Berry challenge and it was really fun. This pack also adds aliens and honestly just sending your Sims into a rabbit hole, like I like the idea of going to work with them. I think that's really cool. But I genuinely thought these two were the same pack. My mind is actually just blown right now. My mind is blown. And I also do like City Living because San Myshuno is great. I like the festivals and stuff. I don't use them that much, but you know, at least it feels like stuff's going on in the city, like things are existing, which is great. And I like the different districts. One thing I kind of low-key hate is whenever there's an event going on in the district you're living in, people just come into your apartment, or at least it happens to me. It kind of drives me mad. So I'd say it's quite a buggy pack. At least in my experience, it's quite buggy. Yeah, I'd say if you put them together in one pack, it would be amazing. And I genuinely thought that's what it was. So it's tough because San Myshuno is great. Going to work is great. Do you need them? How savage should I be? I'd say this one I love, but do you need it? You don't need to send your Sims to work. You don't have to do it. City Living, do you need San Myshuno? I think eventually you're going to want neighborhoods that have a bit more going on, a bit more like neighborhoods of previous games, particularly Sims 3. So I would say you kind of do need this, and this one I'm going to put as love. I really like the career element. Like, I think it's fun. Okay, next up we have Get Together. Okay, so this is where I think the confusion came from, because Get Together does add two big things. It adds a whole new world, which is Windenburg, which is one of my favorite worlds in the Hall of Sims. I love this like German Scandi feel. I think it's beautiful. The world is gorgeous. The build items are really nice in it as well. And it also adds a feature that the game genuinely needs. It needs this feature or else it's very irritating, which is clubs. Why are clubs good? One, because with the help of mods, if you mod it so you can have huge clubs, you can use it to gather Sims in ways that the game doesn't let you do. So I used to have a mod that let me have as many people as I wanted in one club. I would add all of my family to the Calorie Aching Club, and then if I had a wedding or a funeral, I would just start gathering and everyone from the family would just arrive. Like 60 people would just turn up. The game has no easy way of doing that. In fact, you can't even call more than X amount of people, which is very irritating. So this helped me get around it. So from a feature point of view, this is great. Some of the other stuff though, I don't rate. I think the DJing is kind of low-key. It's a bit sad. Whenever I go to the clubs, the DJs are always terrible and it doesn't feel vibey. And clubs, I don't know if they've looked like this for like 30 years. I don't know. I don't want to judge. But in Sims 1, didn't we have that person dancing in the cage? Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I don't love this part of it. I don't love it. I do like the dancing in Sims, but I feel like each pack should have brought a new dance personally. But I think literally just for the clubs being able to gather your Sims together, the other thing they do really well is if you want to start like a book club, you can invite everyone over and they'll actually read. They will actually read. Otherwise, you just can't do that. There's no way of doing that unless you have this. You can't control your NPCs in that way. So I think for this and for Windenburg, for me, Get Together is a definite need it pack. Which brings us on to cats and dogs. So, you guys will probably have realized that whenever I add a cat or a dog to my family, I neglect them. In real life, my life literally revolves around my pets. I love animals, like I wanted to be a vet. I make my animals my life. It's literally a big part of my personality. And I don't enjoy pets in The Sims. I don't know. There's just something about them in Sims that I find incredibly irritating. They don't have much soul to me. They're kind of boring. And the other thing as well is if you flick between families, every single time you get back to your family that you were playing as before, your pet will be sick. And then you'll have to go to the vets or you'll have to stock up on vet treats. And if you forgot to stock up on vet treats, then you have to go into debug just to get it because you can't be bothered to go to the vets. And for me, when I was running the vets as well, very, very buggy. They were really, really buggy. So like this pack on paper, I should love. I should genuinely love it. But I mean, I like some of the build items. I like the doors and stuff. I just feel like somehow you made an animal lover not like animals in The Sims. And I don't know how you did that. You made somebody that really wanted to be a vet when they were a kid not enjoy running a vet clinic. Like, the saving grace, I guess, is Brindleton Bay. I like the beachy element of Brindleton Bay. I don't think you can even go in the water though. It's just literally full of stray animals that have fleas and are vomiting everywhere. I don't know. I should love this pack. I should genuinely love this pack, but I don't know if I do. And for that reason, I'm gonna put it as, I'm sorry, and I feel like people will get upset about that. I'm probably gonna have some controversial decisions. I'm just gonna put it out there. Next up is Seasons. So Seasons is, again, I'm gonna be tricky with this one too. It adds a lot of cool new stuff. It adds some new skills like skating and flower arranging and beekeeping. All of this is great. It also adds, does it add a new world? I don't think it does actually. In my head, it added the National Park world, but I think I'm hallucinating that. But the big, oh yeah, weather. That's the one. Claire. The big thing it adds is weather and a calendar and holidays. Stupid holidays that you have to delete, like Talk Like a Pirate Day and Brawl Day. Who added that? Who thought that was a good idea? However, the biggest issue I personally have with Seasons, not everyone will agree with this, but I think if you're making a life sim based on the real world, Seasons should kind of be in the game anyway. Like, it is the most, like, weather happens. I shouldn't have to buy a pack just to have weather in a simulation game based on real life. They've obviously done it for every single game that's had some Seasons pack in it so far. But for me at this point, Sims 4 should have launched with weather. When you look back pre-Seasons and remember that your Sims just had the same weather every day and the seasons never changed, you were like, how? What? Why? So this one is kind of a tough one for me. It does add some cute like clothing stuff as well, but I'm gonna put it as need it. But at the same time, it should have been in base game. I'm sorry, but it's EA. They're literally $1 billion company. It should have had weather when it launched. Okay, this one is the movie pack, right? Get Famous. Okay. Opinions. This video is gonna have a lot of opinions in it. This, for me, is the buggiest pack that I've played. Yeah, it's a very buggy pack. Again, it has the issue if you play multiple households, which I don't think I'm alone in this. I think a lot of people do. If you go back mid-job, the job is just gone. You have to cancel the job because you'll never get invited to go to it. The last time I played this pack, that issue still existed. I play single household now. I will never go back to playing multiple households just because it messes the game up so much. And again, it shouldn't. It really just shouldn't. The items it adds, honestly, pretty great. The build buy stuff is great, particularly the set stuff is really good if you're trying to like just do some creative builds. It also does add the new area, which is, Del Sol Valley. It's the Del Sol Valley, isn't it? Which they don't actually say on here, which is kind of weird. Run this town. What town? But yeah, the acting career, I think it's probably fun the first time you do it. Replayability, for me, not really, because it's literally just clicking around a set. It's the issue that you have with Sims and the limited things you can do within the game. I don't think the replayability is that great. Do I like the Del Sol Valley? I actually do, especially when you're in like that millionaire row. The view over the city is fab. It's a really nice place to build. So for that reason, I do really like it. The awards ceremony for me is just a load of Sims getting up and walking around. Doesn't really work that well, personally. Again, quite buggy. Oh, the other thing that actually annoys the bejesus out of me about this pack is if you're a 5-star celebrity, you won't talk to your own family members if you've never been introduced to them before you got famous. So like, oh, here's your great Aunt Hilda. And she's just like, don't talk to me, peasant. And it's like, this is your family. You wouldn't do that to your family. But this is a bigger issue with Sims and family trees, I guess. So yeah, sorry. I am gonna put it on good. I like the Del Sol Valley. I like, on paper, it should be, you know what, I'm degrading it to okay. Because the fact that they didn't add singing when they added acting, I just forgot that they didn't do a full singing career. Again, I'm pretty sure they did that with previous games. I don't know. Okay, this next one is gonna be controversial because the next one is Island Living. If you watch me, obviously maybe you do, if you're here, maybe you don't, you probably know what I'm gonna do with this one. So on paper with this pack, I actually think the cast items are really nice. I actually do wear these ones. I particularly like the island. I like the Islander clothes. I think that they're really good. Build modes items are absolutely fab. It added a bunch of integration with NPCs where they'd like want to come and give you food, which was really nice. You'd had like the parties. I really like the music that comes with it as well. The mermaids, let's face it, were incredibly disappointing. For me, they have the same issue that aliens have where there's no skill tree. There's literally just no reason to use them. They're kind of boring. And half the time when mine went into the bath, their tail never went on, so they just had these really creepy long legs. So yeah, the mermaids was so disappointing that it should drag the pack down a lot. However, honestly, this is the nicest sim world of all the sim worlds. The lighting is beautiful. The scenery is gorgeous. The fact that a bunch of it is connected with like these little bridges. Every time I move to a new place, I'm blown away by how pretty it is and how great each lot looks. I think this is genuinely the nicest world in all of the Sims. And it's probably just because I would like to live here one day. This is kind of my vibe. But I am putting that there despite all the flaws, despite the fact that, you know, saving the island and doing the conservation thing was kind of weak. The volcano did nothing. Like, that was the weirdest thing. I just think that it's so pretty and your Sims need somewhere to go away on holiday. Let's face it. I'm putting it in Nita. Discover University. Okay. University in Sims, really freaking hard. Harder than in previous games that I remember. I used to live in the university in Sims 3. I absolutely loved going to university in Sims 3. I find that my Sims just spend the whole time doing homework because it will take a whole day to do one piece of homework. And that's really annoying. I get that, you know, in real life, university is really hard and, you know, the game is trying to reflect that. However, why would I want to sit on a video game for 8 hours in game watching my Sim turn a piece of paper or type on a PC? That is not fun. Most of the time when I was playing Sims University is the one time where, you know, you'll catch a reflection in your screen and you're like, I'm not having fun. Why am I playing this game? I'm not having fun. I genuinely feel that about Discover University. Again, it's one of those ones that on paper it should be great. It added some really cool mechanics like the robot and doing the robotics club and the secret societies, this keg stand thing, and all of these things. It should have been really cool. Like, this pack made me realize more than any of the other packs that I was literally watching my Sims do boring things and I was bored doing it. And I also never live in this world if I'm not at university. I don't live in that middle bit. I just never do. So for that reason, kind of savage, but I am putting that in can live without because it's just not fun. Which brings us on to eco lifestyle. So another one that added so much new stuff. It added the ability for worlds to be green or not green, you know, industrial or eco, which I loved. You can reuse and recycle. You can grow bugs and eat them. I'm still disgusted by that. Your environment would change based on how you were treating it, which was incredible. You can also make or dumpster dive for a bunch of like stuff for your house, which was really freaking cool. It also added a whole new world, Evergreen Harbor. I don't like Evergreen Harbor. I think it's kind of ugly. I don't think it's a very nice world whatsoever, but the fact that, you know, you can choose for these changes, not in quite the same way, but you know, the environment changes, the way that the sky looks and stuff you can have in other worlds, I think was really nice. It had that seasons vibe to it. As a recycler and vegan, I really like this pack. Is it kind of annoying that you have to use up personality traits to be and vegan? It is a little bit, but I think this pack is great. I think that the build items are really freaking good. Like, they are so freaking good. You can make your house look so great with all of this stuff. The windows and stuff it added, and even new grass like swatches, and oh, just beautiful. I'm gonna firmly put that and love it. Which leads us to the last of the packs in this, because this doesn't include cottage living, which, by the way, I'll talk about in a moment. Snowy Escape. Okay, I wanted to love this. I really wanted to love this. It's Japan. Japan's cool. It's snowboarding. Snowboarding's cool. Being in a hot spa, really, really cool. I don't know why I don't love this. I'm confused. Very confused by this. Environmentally, beautiful. Like, walking around and seeing all of this stuff, gorgeous. When it snows here, it looks like this world was made for snow. It looks so pretty. The build mode items are great, although I don't understand why there was no roof edges when you had the different roof. I saw someone talk about that on Twitter recently and I was like, huh, you're totally right. However, the build stuff is really, really good, but this has a weird non-replayability thing for me. You climb the mountain once and you're like, huh, so there's nothing, you just get to the top and then it's just over. And I was like, I felt disappointed. Do I make my Sims learn how to become skiboarders? Who? Skiers and snowboarders. I don't, because you have to go there to do it. So I have to travel every time I want to go if I'm not living there. I don't think there's a specific career path for them. They can't become a famous snowboarder, a famous skier, which is super disappointing. I'm gonna put it on okay. Like, I don't know. It has the same feel. It's just not very replayable. It had more potential, basically. Now, cottage living isn't on there. However, I'm still getting my teeth into cottage living. I would say the new world and all of the features that it adds kind of put it for me. And the new clothes, actually. It has really good new clothes. And it has really good new build items. Particularly for if you like adding stuff to your walls outside, which I do. If it existed, I would put it and love it. I don't think you need it, but I think it's a really good pack. Okay, I'm probably gonna start getting a little bit more savage now, especially because I don't even know what half of these are. Oh, that's the free stuff, isn't it? Free stuff, of which we've had 2 ever. A Christmas tree, and holiday attire, and an electric guitar. I mean, it's free, but meh. Okay, game packs, outdoor retreat. I don't know how I feel about this pack. I should, again on paper, I should love this. I did a bunch of camping when I was younger. I like the woods. I live in the woods. But somehow they're kind of boring in The Sims. I don't know. It's just not very vibey. The herbalism thing is kind of cool. You can't live in the new world, so it is just a holiday destination, although that might have changed now. Meh. It's meh for me. Spa day. I like the yoga. I like the meditation. I like the wellness skill. I like the stuff that comes with it. It's like very clean, very zen. I like that you can add a sauna to your house. I'm pretty sure if you live in certain parts of the world, that is like a, oh, I can actually make my house now kind of vibe. But do you need it? I don't ever go to the spa. I think I've taken my Sims to the spa like twice ever. And to say I do yoga in real life, I don't make my Sims do yoga that much. I'm gonna put it as okay. It's fine. It's good. Dine out. Okay. It should be a need it. It genuinely should be a need it, because being able to take your Sims out to restaurants, to dates, to birthdays, out and about should be like, it should be a necessity in the game. It's such an important part of like real life, socializing, going out and doing stuff. Like, it should be really important. For me though, one thing that's incredibly annoying, and I don't know if you guys get this as well, if I send my Sims out after work, 6 p.m., we will genuinely be eating until about 2 a.m. in the morning. Like every single time. It takes so long. There is a real disconnect in game time versus like getting the food to the table. It just makes no sense. The other thing I've found recently is if I invite NPCs out to dinner, they will randomly get up in the meal and like interact or react to something, and then they don't sit back down and finish their food, so I can never order another course, which is very irritating. However, a big thing that Dine Out did add is the ability to run your own businesses. Now, I genuinely don't do this that much, but in terms of a gameplay mechanic, it's kind of huge. Again, I find that running the business is very buggy. Whenever I try to do the bakery, I had to like literally beg people to buy food in order to get the bakery to like even break even. I don't know if I'm just a terrible business owner. Maybe I am. I also think it wins the award for items in CAS and items in build mode that I use the least of anyone. From a gameplay perspective, you're gonna eventually want to start running your own businesses and doing that kind of thing. So I think that almost warrants a need it, but you're gonna get frustrated with it and it's gonna be kind of buggy, so I'm gonna make it my first good. It's a good pack. It adds a bunch of important features, but they can be frustrating. That's how I would put it. Which brings us on to vampires. So this very much depends on how you play The Sims. Do you want supernatural in your game? If you do, vampires is genuinely a need it, because vampires added the most in-depth supernatural, I would say, other than maybe witches. Yeah, witches probably got a bit more maybe. But vampires, in terms of actually adding a bunch of cool stuff for supernatural, was kind of unrivaled. Obviously, you have so much cast stuff because you were literally making vampires with all the scary features, but you also got an entire skill tree. Vampires act different. They have different needs. They're not deadly, which is kind of annoying because, you know, a bunch of adults play this game. We're okay with a vampire killing someone. If we add vampires to our games, you kind of expect that. And they also add Forgotten Hollow, which is it's a very small world, which is quite frustrating, but it has a bunch of, it's interesting, new things grow there. There is the whole garlic mechanic where you can hang garlic to keep the vampires away and all that kind of thing. And yeah, the vampires thing is quite interesting. It has a lot of that Sims humor in it, which I think is, like, that was a series strength, like its cheeky humor, and I feel like it lost that a little bit. It's kind of come back now in somewhat, but the previous games were so cheeky and I loved that about them. So for me, vampires are, I'm gonna put them as good. If you like supernatural, they're great. If not, you don't need this pack. It's not gonna add anything to your life at all, but I liked it because I like vampires. I like supernatural and I like fantasy. In fact, I love it. There we go. Parenthood. Okay, this is a funny pack for me because if you'd have asked me about this pack a year ago, I would have just gone, lol. Because I low-key hated parenting my children in The Sims 4. It actually annoyed the bejesus out of me. However, again, it was because of the Not So Berry challenge. I had to do one generation really focusing on parenting. And I realized that if you're playing this from a story point of view and you want that depth, you want to actually feel connected to your Sims, the Parenthood pack is a pretty good pack. It lets you develop your parenting skills. You actually get to shape your kid's childhood a lot more. You will be able to tell how your child perceived their upbringing. Did they have a relaxed parent that was fair? Did they have a strict parent? It's going to change how they react to them when they're older. It can sometimes feel like a little bit of a grind if you do want to try and up all of the character values, but I think this is actually a pretty decent pack. Again, should all of the stuff in this pack have just been in game anyway? Probably. Like, genuinely, it probably should have done. The fact that your parents couldn't interact with their kids at this level anyway, the fact that it had to be a pack to interact with your children is kind of mind-blowing. Now that I think about it, it is actually just sort of low-key daylight robbery. I'm just judging it on pack alone. I actually hate that they do this, by the way. If I saw a kid do that in real life, I would just yeet. but I do think it's a really important park, so I'm gonna put it in good. Jungle Adventure. Do you want to explore ancient ruins? If yes, you'll like this park. If no, skip it. Genuinely skip it, because it is so focused around the ancient ruins and it is so tied to your Sims needs and how quickly they degrade. And that can make for quite a frustrating gameplay experience. I did just want more from this park, and also I don't really understand why there is this difference between world you live in and world you holiday in. I'd rather just have like one section of each world be a holiday world. So yeah, I find this is like a pack that I've probably used like twice, and then I'm like, no, not for me. So it really depends on your gameplay style, but I'm gonna put it meh. I'm sorry, I just am. Strangerville. Okay, I feel like for a lot of people, this park is absolutely, you don't need it, or meh, or I don't like it. I loved this park. As somebody who really likes the story element of The Sims, I loved this park. I loved that they tried something new. I loved that there was a story, there was a conspiracy, there was the creepy faces that everyone was doing. There was like the army folks and the scientists, and you were like listening into them, and at nighttime everyone would like get possessed. Oh, I loved it. I thought it was so creative and fun. I think there was a lot of nods to like pop culture in there as well. I just really liked this park. I thought it was so fun. I have lived in Strangerville since. It's kind of a bit of like a bleak world, but I think it's meant to be like that. It's not lush Solani, but it's interesting in its own way. It's very like foreign to me, obviously, because it's based on not England, which I kind of like. It feels like exotic and cool. Has it got any replayability factor? Honestly, no. Once you do this once, you'll never do it again. I've never done it again since. I did it once and that was enough for me, and I'll never do it again. Like, probably never do it again. However, I thought it was such good fun. I'm putting it in love it. You don't need it, but are you gonna have a bunch of fun? Yes. Are your Sims randomly gonna get possessed for the rest of your gameplay experience and crack you up? Yes, I love it. I love that pack. Realm of Magic. Realm of, why didn't I like this pack more? Why didn't I fall completely in love with this pack? What was it? It didn't have the depth. The magical world was really cool, but it was also kind of dead. It was all pretty aesthetics and no soul. The actual place where you arrive, like the Ministry of Magic vibes place, was the most sad, disappointing place ever. Like, it was empty. It's like they didn't even try and decorate it. The jewel thing, it's like, why? You jewel and it looks cool, but is there any point to it? There was no story. There was no option to align yourself with evil or good. I mean, you could choose to do that, but I feel like, you know, the good and evil ties in with magic and fantasy so much, and I just don't feel like this had it. And I don't know, I just felt really disappointed in it. The neighborhood that it added was really pretty. Glimmerbrook's really pretty, but look how tiny it is. I mean, that's 5 lots. Just like cats and dogs, you somehow made part of my personality, but I didn't enjoy it. So I'm gonna put you as okay because you do have really nice build items. But 2, I think we know. And then we go on to these little stuff packs. Oh, I'm sorry, they're the kits, aren't they? Bust the Dust is the one code that I got as a game changer that I didn't add to my game. I looked at that and I am like, I already don't really understand why you'd want to make your Sims do laundry, because it takes so long. Vacuuming, I just don't get it. If I don't want to do it in real life, I probably don't want to do it in Sims. So you live there. Country Kitchen is actually a pretty cute kitchen. It's good. It's a nice pack. Should it have probably gone in Country Living? Yes. Why did it come out right before? Why was it not included in that pack? Actually, the more I think of that, the more I'm pulling it down. Throwback Fitness. I actually also don't have in my game, so this is all new to me. It has a bucket hat, which I guess is kind of nice. I don't really get it. It looks so similar to a bunch of other like clothes that I don't put on my Sims anyway. Luxury Party. See, these I'm like learning what's in them, like literally as I'm clicking it. I don't use this stuff. This feels like a meh. Perfect Patio, adding hot tubs. Did the previous games have hot tubs as base game? Because I kind of feel like they did. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I wasn't there for the initial drama of Sims. Meh. Cool kitchen stuff. Is this the ice cream maker? See, I like these. I like being able to put stuff like this on the wall. Have I ever made my Sims ice cream? Meh. Spooky stuff. pumpkin carving, candy balls, spooky parties, all of these things are pretty fun. I'm gonna say you're okay, kid. Movie hangout, projector, never used her. Oh my gosh, it's got my favorite curtain. There is a cream swatch of this curtain that I use in every single build. This I use in every single build. Okay, just for the fact that this curtain will be the only curtain that you will use going forward, and these are great, you are going right up here, friend. Romantic garden. Okay, beautiful flowers. Oh, you are my favorite flower. I use you all the time. I love you. Just literally because it's going to make your build so much nicer if you have these. These are definite. Like, honestly, these two are kind of need-its, but it's my build style, so I'm just gonna... No, they're need-its. Backyard stuff. Okay, garden stuffs. How often do I use these things? Genuinely not that often. They make summer more fun if you have seasons, so they can go in the okay section. Vintage glamour. So the butlers came with vintage glamour. Oh, so there literally weren't butlers until this pack came out. No freaking way. I didn't realize that. Oh, we do be loving a butler though. Honestly, that is a nice set of build items. Okay, I like this pack. You can go in good. Bowling. That is a topical little mention there, isn't it? I use bowling every now and again. Is it a bit buggy? Yeah, it is. But it's nice to have things to make your Sims do. So for that reason, I'm actually going to be quite generous and put that in good. Fitness stuff. Climbing wall is great. These lights and this corner bath, essentials, literally essentials. I love them. You can go in the okay. Toddler stuff. Okay, the create sim stuff for toddlers is really good. The playdate function for me is just a disaster because if your sim doesn't know them, you can't invite them, but then how does your sim meet toddlers? Or at least this is the experience I've had. This ball pool also is probably one of the more tragic chapters in the Sims story, but I like these and I do like these outfits are inspired. I love them. I would dress my future child in them. So you can go here. Laundry day. The build mode stuff is actually really nice. There's a lot of clutter in there. I feel like this is when they started to realize that we really want clutter. Clutter is great. Anything that adds clutter, I love. I just don't know why you'd want to watch laundry. I just don't get it. But it has nice clutter, so I'm gonna put it in okay. Oh gosh. My first pet stuff. Why weren't you in cats and dogs? I think we all know that this is probably one of the more hated packs. You don't need it. Okay, I'm gonna be, maybe this is a controversial opinion. I think the Machino stuff build items are great. Again, we've got great clutter. It added a whole new career. It added the ability to have a studio and it added great windows. Honestly, top tier windows. I liked this pack. I'm gonna put it and love it. Tiny living. Build stuff, great. The idea of tiny living, great. The idea of your tiny living giving you lot boosts, great. But I don't feel like they went far enough. I don't feel like they actually really captured the soul of tiny living in this pack at all. They didn't have like fold down tables or like a sink with like a shower thing coming off it. All of these ingenious things that people do when they do tiny living, I don't feel like we're in this pack. I feel like a lot of it just took up just as much space as it would do in a regular house. Also, when tiny living came out, am I remembering correctly, there were no ladders? Did the ladders come after? I feel like the ladders might have come with eco. So you had tiny living, but no way of actually living tinily. If I'm remembering that wrong, this pack does deserve to be higher. Honestly, massive wasted opportunity. Nifty knitting, I actually loved. Am I a knitter in real life? No. Do I want to be? It's never something that's really attracted to me. However, from a sim point of view, it's great. One, because it adds a bunch of awesome build items and you can knit clothes for your family. But two, I'm not saying only old people knit, but if you have old people and you want in the Sims and you want them to do something cute and be like involved in the family, involved with the babies, it's so good for storytelling. I think it's lovely. I don't actually make my Sims ever age, so it's not lovely for me, but I think it's a great pack. And I think it's kind of like a bit of a learning lesson for Sims that sometimes it's the stuff that you don't expect initially, or when it's stuff that can be applied to a certain life stage, it actually makes it so much better. Paranormal. Build mode stuff, yes, fab. Probably the best build mode stuff to come with a single pack. Create a Sim stuff, also pretty good. The actual mechanic of spookies and the exorcisms, kind of boring. The replayability just really wasn't there. Like, you know, Constance got summoned and she was just an angry ghost. Like, there was no extra fun thing in there. It's just a problem I have with Sims. It's like, here we've added a new repetitive mechanic that you can do over and over and over and over, and it's just not fun. So it's a tough one for me. I feel like from a build mode, it's great, but from a gameplay mode, it's not. So I'm gonna put it in good, but I'm literally just going by the build mode stuff. And then Kids Room. Kids Room is currently on sale. I don't have this pack. I literally don't have this pack, and I did not realize that. Do I want it? What's this? What can I do with Kids Room? Trade monster cards. Battle on a battle station. Oh, it's like Pokemon. It has Pokemon. Oh, that's quite cool. Oh, it literally is Pokemon. Okay. On puppet shows. Oh, that's quite cute. I kind of want this pack. I like the battle card stuff, but I've never missed having this pack. No one's ever said, Claire, why don't you have battle monsters in your game? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I'll put them in now. So honestly, I feel like it's a can live without, because I've been living without it and I've been doing just fine. But I feel like that's an unfair thing to say because I've not played with it. So I'll just go even Stevens in the middle. And then who is this owl? Oh, it's Country Living. They did have it. Okay, Country Living, I'm going to put as love it. And we're done. Here is my tier list. So most of my stuff sat in okay. But I feel like I was quite generous to need it and love it. I actually think I was no more savage than anybody else. I probably had some quite different opinions to everyone else, but I want to hear how my opinions compare to you guys. Is there any on here where you were like, Claire, what are you talking about? No. Was there any that you really agreed with me on? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you, Deli, for gracing my screen with your beautiful face and reminding me / forcing me to do this tier list. And also a big thank you to whoever put this originally together. Oh, it was Spring Sims. Spring Sims originally created this. Well, a big thank you to Spring Sims for creating this tier list. I will leave a link to it in the description below. And I want to hear how it compares to yours. So please start some discussions in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please show it some love. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the video. Bye.